Ever listen to a story that just didn't make sense, like the events were jumbled up in time? That's usually because of tricky tenses today. We're going to unravel that. I'm Alice, and with me is Ben.
Happy to be here, Alice. So, narrative tenses sounds a bit mysterious, but I have a feeling they're the secret to great storytelling. What can listeners expect from this episode?
Great question. We'll demystify what narrative tenses are, break down the main types, and then dive deep into the first past simple. By the end, you'll know exactly when and how to use it.
Love it. So we'll get a big picture intro, then zoom in on past simple, learn when to use it, and get some real-life examples, right?
Exactly. Think of this as your starter kit for telling stories naturally and clearly, all thanks to the right tense choices.
All right, so narrative tenses, what's the simplest way to explain them?
They're just the tenses we use when telling stories about the past. The main trio, past simple, past continuous, and past perfect.
Oh, so instead of throwing in random tenses, you pick these three, and they each play a role in the story?
Exactly. Each one helps paint a different part of the picture, main events, background actions, or things that happened even earlier.
That actually sounds manageable. I always thought it was more complicated.
Let's break down the roles. Past simple handles main events, past continuous sets the background, and past perfect marks what came before everything else.
So if I say, I was walking when I saw a dog that I'd never met before, I'm actually using all three?
Exactly. Was walking background, saw the main event, had never met something before that moment. But for today, let's zoom in on past simple.
Gives me a roadmap, thanks. Let's get into the backbone past simple.
Past simple is your go-to for finished actions in the past. If you say, I visited London last year, you're using it perfectly.
So if I'm telling a story about my weekend, it's mostly past simple, like I woke up, had breakfast, went for a walk.
Spot on. Each action woke up, had breakfast, went is a finished event, and putting them in order keeps the story clear.
That makes sense. It's like laying out a timeline of what happened, step by step.
Here's a quick tip adding time markers like yesterday, last week, or in 2019. Helps listeners know exactly when things happened.
That's clever. So, I bought a bike last year, or she called me yesterday. Instantly tells people when the action took place.
Exactly. It also gives your story a sense of structure. People can follow along without getting lost.
I'll keep that in mind next time I'm sharing something that happened.
All right, let's recap 3 key takeaways. First, narrative tenses are just the tools for telling stories about the past. Second, past simple is for main finished actions. Third, time markers make your stories clear and easy to follow.
And for a practical step, try telling a short story about your weekend using only past simple. Sequence your actions and toss in a couple of time markers.
That's it for today's mini episode. Next time, we'll unravel past continuous and see how it brings stories to life.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for listening and happy storytelling. Until then.